Copacabana in Havana.
Oh, Havana. Did you see Lola? She was a showgirl.
She was.
But that was many years ago when they used to have a show. Now
ribbons
it's
in her hair and her dress cut down to there.
But not for Lola.
Hey, guess what?
Are we doing a podcast?
We're live. We're live on the air before Brylang said hello. Where are you guys?
Welcome to the Barry Manilow Classic Podcast.
It's all Barry, all the time.
That's right.
That's right. The mellow tunes and suave sophistication of Barry Manilow coming at you 24/7.
Next up, we'd like to play
Mandy again.
We got Mandy and Copacabana. Are there any others that are really...
I played to pick out Mandy on the guitar in one of my Guitar 101 lessons when I was in junior high.
I can't think of or hear about the song Mandy without having the Homer Simpson version come to mind.
3 hands on the rose asks if this is all ask.
Okay, I'll ask. Right, we're all doing fine. Thanks for asking.
We're talking about Barry Manilow.
Oh, and the show started, but we're talking about Barry Manilow.
Yeah, we're not doing well. We're talking about Barry Manilow. Hello.
Oh, Margie, you came and you brought me a turkey.
You know, you didn't listen to the same Barry Manilow records I did.
No, I said that's the Homer Simpson version.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I never watched The Simpsons.
On my holiday from worky.
I am familiar, however, with Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
I never understood Spider Pig.
There's not much to understand. It's a pig.
He does whatever Spider Pig does.
What does a Spider Pig do?
I don't know. Can he walk on ceilings?
Yes, he can leave footprints on the ceiling.
That's right.
Blind Monkey, your voice is so soothing. 3 hymns in a row. Fell asleep briefly.
Greetings and salutations. This is the podcast for late night.
This is the podcast for driving on the highway very late at night.
Hey,
So
I get a sleeper.
Shall I increase the bass a bit? And
Yeah.
Well, I
Make it
am
even
all
more
about the bass.
Are you?
how
I
much
thought it was all
treble?
about the bass. It was a fish.
Not
it
the
was a fishing
rebels.
thing.
Not the rebels, just the bass.
All about the bass with the rebels.
You're a rebel without a clue.
Mm,
And there you go, pop culture. What is Land Monkey drinking? Well, that's just a question we ask every week, and we're not always sure.
That's
it's a
classified.
special concoction. It's not in the Cuba cup this time, so...
It's liquid courage.
All right. So we've got...
do a commercial for this stuff. Afterwards, you don't even smell.
H-E-double-N-I. Yeah.
So we got Wits End opening and closing.
Oh. Would you like to close, Land Monkey?
I would love to close, and that is probably my own fault that Wits End is opening and closing, so I take full
Thank you for
responsibility.
catching that.
Yep, just doing my job late as opposed to doing it on time.
Well, I wouldn't catch it because I didn't look that far ahead.
Well, you know that somebody else would just do it anyways when you got there, Jim.
Pretty much.
Your bass
A nameless
belongs to
somebody,
us.
but
All your base star belong to us. Good evening,
That's right.
gentlemen.
Good evening. And we've dillied and we've dallied.
ooh. Dodge,
Monkey
parry,
juice.
thrust.
We might even start a show tonight
Hey.
at some point.
Let's do
Okay.
this, okay? I'm going to hit record, and we're going to start a show. Which end you are kicking us off. So, here we go.
Oh, welcome to caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the Great Pacific Northwest. And tonight we're going to talk about caches and cashiers unique to this little corner of the country. So grab that rappelling gear and the life jacket because it's time to go T5 caching in the Northwest.
Did you start off a little Irish there by chance?
Did I?
I don't know. There was something in your voice. But you know what? You're exactly right. Tonight, we're going to help you folks with another quest from geocaching.com's summer road trip, finding a T5 cache. And if we're going to talk about high-terrain caching adventures, we should bring in our resident adventure monkey. Some say he doesn't always cache safely, and others say he caches far too often. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Well, top of the evening to you, gentlemen. We are doing it in Irish tonight, aren't we? Isn't that what we're doing?
Oh, Shroud and Pagoda, yeah.
All right. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you very much. And hey, thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight to the soft, soothing sounds of the Barry Manilow podcast. So, guys, let's talk about T5 caching with Barry Manilow. July 17th to September 2nd, we get extreme. That's right. That is when you just have to get your adrenaline flowing or your mind racing. Find a Terrain 5 or Difficulty 5 geocache beginning July 17th to earn that souvenir. So tonight, we're going to focus on the terrain, the high terrain caches. And listeners, I got to say, we have been enjoying hearing from you about your favorite caches and caching locations in the Northwest in your very own voice each week on our podcast. So please do continue.
Hi, I'm O'Joy, and my favorite Northwest cache probably is Psycho Vertigo because I never thought I'd be able to do it.
Oh, yes. Love that. We have brought back a Caching Northwest tradition, playing audio from you, our amazing listeners, sharing your favorite cache or caching location. You know, you can record that from the T5 cache itself. Record it from your boss's office. We don't mind where, but just we want to hear about those great caches you're out there finding. Just record the audio and email it to us at feedback@cachingnw.com or give us a call, 253-693-TFTC. You can call us on the way to the T5 cache, the way back from the T5 cache, while you're at the T5 cache, while you're in your boss's office. Leave a message there. We'll play it on the show. We're looking for only about 15 seconds of audio. It doesn't take long. That's plenty of time to say your geocaching name, the GC code, and the name of the cache, and most importantly, why you liked it. And if we play it on an episode, you will win some cool swag.
Cool swag. Oh, so very cool. Barry Manilow would be pleased. Hey, we have some news. Just in from the news desk. InReach Canada's Pay It Forward program recognizes the invaluable contribution that the Search and Rescue Volunteer Association of Canada, the SARVAC, and thousands of other search and rescue volunteers make to the InReach Canada community. SARVAC's mission? It sounds like a Star Trek character. Is that a one of I can't come up with Spock's brothers? SARVAC?
Well, that's the way we do things in Canada. Any acronyms have to actually relate to a science fiction program.
Okay. Well, I mean,
And if it doesn't, they'll make one up.
Or you modify the bill to make a Spock out of it. That's fine.
Yeah.
SARVAC's mission is to save lives by fostering elegance, and excellence in search and rescue organizations in Canada.
Elegant.
Not only will you be rescued, but you will be rescued in style.
That's right.
Oh, gentlemen, I apologize for that, but that was really quite funny. How
can we help?
If you've used an InReach, now this is the DeLorem InReach, to
Correct.
obtain assistance in an emergency, simply share your story with us. We'll pay it forward in your name, donating $250 to the elegant SARVAC. Are you a SARVAC supporter? Road Post will also match any InReach user's individual contributions to SARVAC. Just send in a copy of your SARVAC donation receipt and the IMEI of your InReach device by email, and they will match contributions up to $50 for an aggregate of $10,000 annually. So it's applicable to Canadian InReach users only.
Mm.
And
That's
that
really
is
cool.
fabulous.
It was cool. And I just want to clarify, you said that if you share your story with us, we'll pay it forward in your name. You're actually quoting InReach Canada's.
Yes. I'm quoting InReach
organization.
Canada, not caching in the Northwest. However, I would love to be able to do something like that.
I was going to say, if you share your story with us, we'll play it on the podcast.
Exactly.
There you go.
If you've been InReach to get help, and I actually don't know personally anybody who has, but I would like to hear that story.
Yeah,
And how effectively it worked. Yes, but I was reading a story. I have thought in the past, you know what? It would be nice if caching in the Northwest had a each week or maybe an emphasis once a month to help people around us. I need to do that one time. To start a charity wing of caching in the Northwest.
That would be very cool. We have grand and glorious plans to grow huge and do things like that. Right now, however, we want to thank listener Air Rooster from Spokane, Washington, who sent us in a recipe for, guess what? Anything?
I don't know if we have anything.
I don't know. The note says to play audio, and I'm wondering if there's an audio clip coming. No? I don't know. Anyway, Air Rooster wrote to us and said that he was looking around the net and found the recipe for some monkey chow. And he thought you might like it.
I think the audio clip we were waiting for was one that one of the characters from a certain movie.
I was thinking there was no audio clip with this. This was a note. But you're thinking of...
Monkey chow.
Monkey chow? For what?
Well, for the monkeys, of course.
There you go.
Sorry,
I'm just trying to follow the show notes here. I thought it would just drop right in the hole there. The wheels have fallen off this vehicle already tonight.
Wits end. Just following orders. All right.
That's right.
There we go.
That's right.
And that's why the podcast is in the shape it's in today.
Okay, so Air Rooster found a recipe for monkey chow. And who would really like monkey chow?
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I haven't had a chance to make the recipe yet, but I have taken a look at it, and I'm pretty sure, based on the ingredients and the way that they're combined, this monkey will like the monkey chow.
From what I read, I would like the monkey chow.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, chocolate, confectioner's sugar, banana chips.
I had no idea that's what it's called, but I've had it before.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I just tasted it. Can I have some more of that delicious substance? I don't know what you call. Now it's monkey chow, and forever will be monkey chow.
For the monkeys, of course.
That's right.
All right. Well, folks,
guys, I'm really sorry, because you know what the name of that clip is on this? Is monkey chow. Did I associate that? No.
That's all right. We still love you. All right. So one of the other things I thought I would throw in here while we're talking about news is to let you folks who are listening and watching us know that I've actually been doing a little lately. I recently co-hosted an episode of the Cache and Release podcast. That's a new geocache podcast coming to us from Florida. Michael hosts that one, and it was a lot of fun. So that was a great one. We went on for over an hour about Earth caches. I know it's probably surprising that I could talk.
I listened to it, and my mouth was agape the whole time. I was shocked that you chose that subject.
Who'd have thunk?
It was a lot of fun. And as well, us Land Monkeys actually have 2 guest blogs on the Open Caching North America website. So we'll include the links for that stuff on the show notes if anybody's interested in checking it out. But I also want to point out that I am not the only BC geocacher making guest appearances these days. Just today, I noticed 2 familiar faces and recognizable names from my neighborhood. Local cacher GeoQuan got a little PR and a profile in the most recent blog from geocaching.com for their visit to GCHQ. And we'll include the link there so you can see the photo of them. And cacher friend Delta Dodger and his wife were featured in another blog article, and we'll throw that link in there as well. So it does seem that BC geocachers are all the rage these days.
But of course.
Well, yes, but we're not talking that kind of rage, are we?
Ooh, monkey rage.
Ooh, monkey rage. Got it. Okay. Well, talking about north, let's talk a little bit of down south. To celebrate the beloved film, The Goonies, in the town where it was filmed, that's Astoria, Oregon. Mm-hmm. Now, they celebrate this every year on June 7th. I had no idea it was every year. There's a Goonies festival every year.
That's
this
cool.
year is the 30th anniversary celebration. That's from June 4th to June 7th. That's this very weekend we're at.
We're like there right now. And while it is south of us, it is still part of the Northwest. So we're proud to include that in the Great Northwest here.
Are you serious? It's been 30 years?
30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened?
I saw that movie when I was 2. Yeah. It's just incredible.
My mom was watching it when I was in the womb.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
That's the ticket. So you can hunt for Goonies gold on your phone, according to the Daily Historian. This was published just today, actually, today, June 4th, 2015. You can hunt for One-Eyed Willie's treasure using your phone. Now, before you go off and wonder what on earth One-Eyed Willie is, go back and watch the movie. I just happened to have watched it with my family recently, and One-Eyed Willie is a character in the movie, so
you may not want to try Googling One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah, I would not go there. I would go read. I'm sure there's a Goonie wiki that will describe it all.
There you go. Yeah.
So just want to lay that out there. Keep this a family show. Len Monkey has just fallen off of his stool. So you can search for One-Eyed Willie's treasure using your smartphone. As the Bad Cop mentioned, this is the 30th anniversary of the movie Goonies, and it was filmed in Astoria, Oregon. You can also go on a related brewery and distillery tour of Astoria, which might make the treasure hunting just that much more interesting. You can go to www.goonies.guide. I did not even realize that .guide was a fully working top-level domain, but apparently it is. It starts at noon today, so if you're listening to this live, it's going on right now. If you're listening to this a week from now, you missed it. However, you're listening to it here soon. It runs until 5 p.m. Sunday. You can win Goonies-related prizes by finding all 20 geocaches in this event. Now, the first 500 people at geocaching's information booth at the Goondocks, which is inside the Astoria Armory, get a free tasting glass for the brewery tour. Yeah, I got to imagine the Bad Cup held his up. Here's mine from the brewery tour. Brewery tour.
How many of those did you have?
Yeah. I haven't drank out of this since the brewery tour outside the block party last August. But you can get a free tasting glass for the first 500 people and go on a tour there around Astoria. So there's going to be Eric from Geocaching. So there'll be 20 different locations around Astoria in the hunt, including 6 movie shoot locations and 14 businesses with puzzles to solve for hidden codes. It sounds like a heck of a lot of fun. A lot of things that were mentioned in the movie are in there, and they even worked with Warner Brothers to provide clips and pictures from the movie to help you solve different stages of the puzzles and the events. So there's a whole bunch of details here, but go check out the Daily Historian or the show notes of this podcast episode and read all about it. It sounds fascinating. I wish I had time to go to Astoria this weekend because I've really enjoyed the Goonies movie and the Goonies universe, and I'd love to go participate in this event.
Yes. Now, it's very interesting. Geocaching.com goes on to say they expect 15,000 people to visit Astoria for the Goonies celebration. Wow. And they conservatively estimate that 10,000 people will take part in the treasure hunt. Those are incredible numbers to me.
Those are like caching the Northwest audience numbers.
Exactly. Well,
someday.
Those are okay compared to our normal listening numbers, but yeah, they're doing well.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and The geocaches that they're referring to in the article are 20 lab caches throughout the town of Astoria. And if you are interested in dropping everything and heading down there, and I think as the bad cop said, there's another 2 days left on the lab caches. Um, we'll have in the show notes for the event page, and that's where you can really get all the information that we're talking about. So the event itself has transpired, the geocaching event, but you can still go to that page to get the link to the lab caches and enjoy the remainder of Goonie Week.
All the Goonie goodness.
That's right.
Goodness of Goonies. The original geocachers. I don't know. What are we going to call them? But gentlemen, have you had a good week? Did you get any geocaching or even other adventures in this week?
Well, of course, the highlight of my week is Thursday night at 9 East Pacific. But, yeah, I had some adventures this week. But sadly, none of them were cache related. I've just been really busy with life. I've mentioned in the past I work at a school, and, well, we are right at the end of the school year with about a conservative estimate puts it at 4.3 billion events happening in our school at this time of year. So, but you know, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I don't think it's an oncoming train.
Are you supposed to move towards the light at the end of the tunnel? I'm always confused with this.
It depends if it's approaching you at a rapid pace, then run the other direction. But our school year is drawing to a close, and very soon I can catch my breath and get out and do a little more caching.
Awesome. That would be good. It would be good to get you out and do a little more caching, and hopefully we'll be able to get out on the trail with you at some point in the next couple of weeks.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Well, speaking of getting out on the trail, this past weekend, us Land Monkeys, we joined many other geocachers from the greater Vancouver area and enjoyed the peaceful serenity of the island community of Bowen Island. It was an amazing couple of days, including a couple of T5 caches. So, you know, I'm ready for today's show. I've done my research, my field research. And if you want to check out those adventures, you can go to Land Monkeys Geocaching Adventures on YouTube, episode 88.
Very cool.
Nice. And as Wits End said, I sit right next to him at work, so, you know, we're in this together, whether you want me to be or not. So, you know, we are all just one big happy family here. So if you're out and about, you need to tell us of your geocaching adventures when you're gone exploring. If you've done any T5 caches, if you're planning any, let us know. And if you need to record those from your boss's office, go right ahead.
We encourage that kind of behavior.
Do we really? Should we really?
Yeah, well, okay, well, us Goonies are talking about caching tonight, and if you good listeners are planning to go out and tackle a Terrain 5 cache this summer in order to claim that road trip souvenir, and we really hope that you are, because that's a cool souvenir to have, we want you to do a couple of things for us. First, we really want you to get back home safely so you can continue to cache and enjoy time with your family and all those fun things we want to do this summer. And second, we really want you to share that story with us. We can put it on the podcast and talk about all of your grand adventures. You may recall, not all that long ago, it was episode 83, which was on February 28th, we had an interview, thanks to Land Monkey, with North Shore Search and Rescue up in BC, and they shared several backcountry safety tips. So if you're a little rusty on your backcountry safety, or you just want to refresh your memory, go back and check out that episode. Had some great tips and some great interviews, and you might learn something that you missed before, didn't know, so you can go on and cache safely and come back home and tell us all about it.
So you can cache more often.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right. Now, the link to go look at is northshorerescue.com/education/what-to-bring. Of course, it'll be in the show notes, but those were pretty easy words to spell. There weren't a lot of, funny characters and upper and lower case to deal with. And that will remind you of those 10 essential items to pack for backwoods caching expeditions, especially for a T5 cache. Now, in short, those are a light, signal devices, a whistle, a mirror, what have you, a fire starter. In fact, we're going to grab a fire starter this year and learn to make our own fires in our backyard. So if our house burns down one day, you know we were successful.
That's right.
Excellent. Good job.
Thank you.
So some other stuff that if you're planning to burn your house down or go out on T5 Cache expedition that you should bring are extra clothes, and make sure that they're weather appropriate and layerable clothes. That's important to do. Bring a pocket knife and bring shelter, but it can be as simple as just a small tarp, a large garbage bag, or one of those reflective safety blankets that folds up just this big.
Yeah, extra clothes are good. I remember you mentioning merino wool back on that episode, I think it was, and I've been wanting to shop and find me some of that ever since. So you've got your clothes, you've got all your lights and all that stuff. The other things you might want to pack along are some water and food, because you might get stuck out there and get hungry. Gatorade crystals are always good to have to add a little bit of electrolytes and things to the water. First aid kit, because I've cached often enough with the Bad Cop that I know that those come really handy. And some navigational aids, a map, a compass, perhaps even, crazy as it might sound, a GPSR. Might come in handy for finding a cache, might also come in handy for finding your way back home safely. And, somewhere to communicate. A cell phone, may not always work in the backcountry. It's good to have a cell phone, good to have a radio, FRS, whatever kind of communications device that fits the location and terrain that you're going to be caching in.
Wits End, I'm slightly offended that you told everybody that geocaching is a contact sport as far as I'm concerned. If you're not bleeding, you didn't do it right. Or maybe you did do it right and I'm doing it wrong. It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying leave a towel in your car. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely always leave a towel in your car. And thanks for all the fish. That's a different story as well. Now, Q&A. We have a great group of listeners that listen to us each and every week. And, there's the Q&A right here on the Google Hangout on Air that you can put in your own questions, comments, what have you, and we will put it on the air, just like West Coaster did. He says, to find a T5 cache, take a young person to climb the hill. Then take out the binoculars and see the cache container. Make sure the finder puts your name on the log. So I think that's the best way to go out and find a T5 cache.
Well, not every T5 cache is up a steep hill, but, if it fits.
There you go. Well, hey, and that leads us into another important point to consider, and that's that T5 does not always mean that it's going to be a steep climb or a long hike. There are different factors that could make up a T5 cache. Those include, and are not exclusive to, the need for special equipment that could range from climbing gear, a boat, even scuba gear. It's really important to read the cache description to figure that out before you head out.
Yeah, there is a cache along the mountain pass here that I keep looking at and I want to do. It's a T5 cache most of the year. At the end of summer, when the water's really low, you can walk right out to this island on dry land, log the cache, and walk back. Any other time, you need a boat. But, it's not just enough to read the cache description, but do some online intel gathering as well. That T5, it might be a T5 just because it's a tree climber, but it could be a really, really high tree climber. Yeah. And you're going to need more than the step ladder the land monkey brings with him.
Yeah, and that's scuba gear is not going to do you any good on that one.
Right.
You could look at the logs for the cache you're intending to find, and if you can't glean enough just from reading the logs in the description, perhaps ask the people that wrote the logs who just tackled that T5 cache what they thought, what they might bring, and say, hey, what should I bring? If you were going to do this again, what did you forget that I can bring along? Learn from somebody else's mistakes.
Exactly. And, the new geocaching.com feature to message people would be great for that, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead and say, hey, I see you found this cache. I'm looking at doing it. Is it really that hard? So don't forget to seriously consider your own physical limits. Not all T5 caches are created equal. And, everyone is at a different fitness level. So if it's something that you're going to have to climb a mountain for, take your time, build up to it if you really want to do it.
For sure. And we've in previous episodes as well talked about your hiking gear, etc. But this is a great point to remind all of us, ourselves and our listeners, that if it is a T5 because of the hike or the distance of the hike or the incline or just the terrain of the trail, it might not be a well-maintained trail for that cache that you're after, then you're going to want to make sure that you have appropriate footwear. And by appropriate, I mean seasonally appropriate. So the right amount of either moisture wicking or moisture prevention, the appropriate amount of grip or traction for the type of trail and trail conditions you're hitting, but also appropriate support for your feet and your ankles. So there's the support around the ankles for the higher ankled boots, but also the support on your feet. If you're hiking a long trail, your feet are going to get tired and sore after a while. It's worth the while to invest in those boots. And the other thing I'll say is, if you're going to do a T5 and you've just bought some new boots to do it, use the boots before you go do the T5.
Yeah. Land Monkey, you took the words right out of my mouth. Never hike in new boots. Break those suckers in first.
And remember, the distance to the cache is typically only half the journey, because in most cases you've got to travel that same distance heading back to your trailhead, vehicle, start, or whatever. So
yes, because your in-reach device is not the yuppie, come get me, I'm tired of walking, I want to go home now.
And some more Q&A from, the Q&A and Hangout here online. 3M's in a Row says that he's found only 24 Terrain 5 caches so far. Did half of those by kayak and swam to a few. Which brings up a good point about water. Make sure you know whether that Terrain 5 cache that you're going to requires crossing water, if it's near water, if it's prone to flooding, or if it's near water that's affected by the tides. That's another huge one, because you could have a great walk out there, turn around and find that the tide has come in, and it could be difficulty 12 getting back to your car. So
yes,
and
that's
then
the
that
point
survival
where we
gear
say
comes in handy.
you're hosed.
Yeah, the Canadian term for that is hosed.
There's a cache here in town that's near the bridges, and it says right in the description, watch the tidal charts, because it's easy to get to when the tide's out, really hard to get to when the tide's in. So
yeah, we did one like that here that wasn't the tide so much, but weather related, because it was near some storm channel runoffs. We went out there one day and it was just, look, it's laying right there, and then you go out there and it was after a heavy rainstorm and all the stormwater runoff was coming through there, and you couldn't get anywhere near the cache. So
yeah, it was like going through the laundry machine there, the washer spin cycle. So, Land Monkey, what did you learn last weekend about your recent T5 cache attempts?
Great. Thanks for that lead in. And definitely, as we said earlier, we attempted 2 different T5 rated caches, and each of them, interestingly enough, had that rating for different reasons. The first was because of a about 2 kilometer long hike with over a 500 meter elevation gain, and that one was just up, up, up. So again, planning your footwear, the proper layers of clothing, food and water were critical to make it there and back safe. We gathered that information from a combination of the cache page itself, checking maps, contour maps, previous logs, checking some alternate hiking websites, but something you mentioned earlier, Bad Cop, that we did for sure on both of these was we contacted through the new messaging system on geocaching.com, contacted the last couple of finders of those caches and said, hey, we're coming out, we're going to do these. Any advice and any experience that you have, let us know. So it was really useful. We got really fast feedback. The messaging system really supported us on that. The second cache that we did, it was a T5. Not so much for the elevation gain. It was a much lower elevation, but about the last 150 meters of it was pretty much just bushwhacking and faint deer trails with no tags or ribbons or any kind of trail markers. So it was shorter and generally I'd say an easier hike, but navigation and awareness of your surroundings from that pre-hike intel were vital to the success, and I'm happy to say on both of those caches we did make the finds.
Nice. Now, you said the last 150 meters or so were pretty much bushwhacking. That's standard for me.
Okay, well, this was actually intended for anybody to have to bushwhack.
Okay. Even urban environments, I seem to have to bushwhack, to get to the lamppost.
I can vouch for that.
Now, Land Monkey, you said you mentioned checking the map contours.
Yes.
That is really important because if you're looking at, say, Google Earth, those aerial views can be really deceiving. You're looking at just, acres and acres of tops of trees. You have no idea elevation changes from that. So
absolutely,
that's really good information.
Thanks. And if I can throw out a tip, the map that we tend to use on geocaching.com for that is actually the cycle map. The OSM cycle map. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I can go take a look at it later.
Maps, yeah.
Yeah. Because that one has fantastic and in our experience highly accurate terrain map contours, and it's been very, very helpful to use that.
Nice. Now, if you haven't used a contour map, take some time and learn this. I know there are classes at our local REI that teach you map reading, and that is really an important skill to learn if you're going to be doing these. If you're going to do anything more than a lamppost hike or a lamppost cache or hike, it depends on where it is. You may need that. So,
agreed.
Well, guys, what do you think? T5 caches, do you think we're ready to go get one here in just about a month?
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to it. I have so many down your guys' way that I've heard about that I'd love to go check out. Like we were talking before the show about Ring of Fire. Man, that's still on the bucket list for me.
That was one of those that because there was an event there, we went. And again, I think Wits End found it on a webpage. It was like, oh, this is so cool. Let's go do that.
Yeah. It was memorable for sure. And we have some friends that went on an adventure later on without the event and have even more memories of it, but that's not such a pleasant experience. Let's just say they didn't do their research and they weren't prepared for a Terrain 5 cache, like our listeners will be.
There you go.
And as we're still married to this day.
Yeah.
That's good. I was just going to throw out there, and as we mentioned before, I think when we're planning some of the T5 caches in that souvenir window that we're going to do, 3M's in a Row's brought it up earlier in his feedback comment in the Q&A, but we'll probably be doing some kayak ones for those. But there's lots of great hiking ones as well, as long as you're prepared. That's all it's about.
Exactly. I'm hoping to borrow a couple of kayaks this summer to be able to get those. Now, we want to let you awesome and incredible and now well-prepared listeners know that if you'd like to meet us, tell us about your favorite caching experiences in the Northwest. Keep a sharp eye out for us in upcoming geocaching events. The next one is the 2015 Mount Vernon GeoCoin Challenge on June 20th. That's just a couple of weeks away. Yeah, we're all excited to go up there, so keep an eye out for us. If you want to tell us your favorite Northwest cache, I'll have the recorder with me. We'll record it. We'll be able to play it back here on the podcast, and you can win some cool swag.
Absolutely. Us land monkeys are really excited to come down and see our good friends from Caching in the Northwest at that event on the 20th and spend some time caching together.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, when it comes to monkeys, the land monkeys is the best monkeys to go caching with.
And maybe
Why,
we'll
thank
be able
you.
to share some monkey chow.
We'll have to try and make sure that we bring some monkey chow down with us. I don't know if no, I should be allowed to bring that across the border. That shouldn't be a problem.
And monkey chow.
Monkey chow? For what?
Well, for the monkeys, of course.
That's all you need to tell the border agents. They'll be
No,
fine.
I'm sure the U.S. Border Patrol would love to hear that when I pull up to the Nexus line. Yeah.
What is that?
All right.
It's monkey chow.
You turn around, go back. Yeah. We don't need your type down here. We got enough. All right, folks. We have been working hard like good little monkeys here at Caching in the Northwest to schedule some great shows for you. We want to remind you to check in again next week on June 11th when we will have Kid Vegas 19 and Lookout Lisa of Cache Advance back on the show. And they are going to help us talk about D5 caches. And we know about their devious hides that they sell. So we're really looking forward to hearing some of that from those guys. On June 18th, we're going to talk about kicking off that geocaching road trip because June 19th is the first day of the geocaching road trip. So one other thing I want to tell you guys, make absolute certain to join us for what we promise will be a memorable June 25th show. That is our 100th episode. It is going to be full of fun and possibly elegance. It is going to include some live audio that we'll capture at the 2015 Mount Vernon Parks GeoCoin Challenge. It will also have a special guest, Dora Moore, who's going to be on to talk about the Summer Winter Games 2015 up in Vancouver. And last but not least, show that I'm going to share with you guys coming up, July 2nd, we will have Dudley Grunt of Open Caching North America joining us.
Great series of shows. You guys aren't going to want to miss any of it. But in the meantime, where can they find us on the interwebs?
Well,
Land
if you're looking for monkeys, sorry about that. Yeah, if you're looking for monkeys on Twitter, it's at LandMonkeyGC. It's the same on what's that photo app?
Instagram.
Instagram. Thank you. Wow, that's prepared. I better add that to the notes for next time. On Facebook, we're Team Land Monkey, and on YouTube, if you just search Land Monkey, you're going to find Land Monkey's geocaching adventures.
One does not simply find land monkeys. Land monkeys find you.
That's right. Wits End?
Wits End is Wits End at twitter.com/witsend and facebook.com/witsend. By the way, go to facebook.com/witsend. I'm just curious to see how long it'll take me to get to 100 likes. lo.co.witsend/witsend. Geocaching, I'm Witsend. And then, like I said, you can even call me at area code 347-WITSEND.
It's hilarious. And don't forget, you can find me pretty much anywhere in the world at CachingNW. That would be Twitter at CachingNW, Facebook.com/CachingNW, Google Plus, that's Google.com/plus CachingNW.
Fantastic. Well, come and find us. We want to talk to you guys. All right. So thank you. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. And remember that you can be part of the show. Call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, a correction, a vote, or a question any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Also, your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, please click the PayPal button on the cachingnw.com website. And this show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2015 by Chris Umfenauer.
All right.
Good night, folks. Hey,
Night,
if you
everybody.
want to find us on the 20th, that GC code is GC5HH0X.
All right. Stay excellent and stay elegant.
How did I get those two words mixed up?
I don't know, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah. It's an elegant
Elegance. Elegance.
It's an elegant elephant.
I was a bit rattled. I don't know why this evening. I worked hard to focus throughout the show, and Land Monkey, I do apologize for throwing you off in the middle of the show there.
Yeah, it wasn't your fault. You know, I read through the show notes and I read through the name of the character from Goonies, and I mean, I knew that was the name of the pirate, but for some reason, once you actually say it out loud, then it just sounds much more like
Wrong.
a euphemism than a pirate.
Yeah.
That's all.
So,
and then I couldn't hold it together.
Bryling, once again, the GC code for the, let me get the exact words, the 2015 Mount Vernon Parks Geocoin Challenge is GC5HH0X.
Yep, we talked about that event a few episodes back, two or three episodes back when we were helping you guys plan out your events for the summer. And while that one won't count towards your souvenirs, we considered that one of the warm-up events, and it's going to be awesome.
Now, also, Bryling posted a very nice article. There's news from the BCGA, that's the British Columbia Geocaching Association. There's a new reviewer for BC.
Oh, that's nice.
Did you know? Was this new news?
It's new news to me.
Mm-hmm. The newest reviewer is Skookumbear. You can check out their profile there.
Okay.
Well, that will undoubtedly trigger off the usual ongoing conversations and debates about who that actually is.
Well, this is interesting. It brings the complement of reviewers in BC to 5. The new reviewer joins Wizard of Ooze, Salt Chuck, Caching Cricket, and Finn Tully to help publish caches.
There you go.
It's a real bear. I show a picture of a bear. It's a real bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skookumbear.
Well, I guess if there's any problems, we can always send Doramore out to wrestle it.
Yeah, she is experienced.
I don't know if I want to meet her in person. I think she might scare me.
I think she can take it.
That's funny. Awesome.
3 hams in a row wants to know whose backyard they can camp in for the block party.
Well, you know, I currently have a camp trailer set up in my backyard right now, as have house guests for graduation parties and whatnot. My son graduates high school tomorrow night, in fact, and so I'm currently the guest in the trailer. By the way, we gave our bedroom to my mother-in-law, and we moved into the camper.
I wanted to promote your selflessness, that you were willing to give up your bed to your mother-in-law and go sleep in the camper. Now, we look at that and go, oh, what a nice son-in-law. You, however, may consider that an escape.
I was going to say, what don't we know? Yeah.
No, I know his mother-in-law quite well. And
we get along well. There's no issues there, and it's just a tent trailer, pop-up tent trailer, but I find it quite comfortable. So, and being here in my own backyard, it's easy to plug into shore power with a space heater, so we're not really roughing it.
Nice.
However, there's room to pitch a tent or a sleeping bag if 3 hams in a row would like to hang out.
There you go. There'll be a competition now for staying at Witsen's place. All right. Hey, and you know, I wanted to drop a little info here at the tail end of the show. Now that the audio recording's done, but we're still live. I mentioned that on July 2nd we're going to be joined by Dudley Grunt of Open Caching North America. Looking forward to that. And in advance and in preparation for that show, I have been methodically and secretly placing Open Caching North America only listed geocaches in the Greater Vancouver area. So
very cool.
If you happen to be listening to this
secretly. I've noticed.
If you happen to be listening to this video and you want to try and get a first to find on a virtual cache or a webcam cache or and soon to be a traveling geocache is going to go out soon as well. So, all these cache types that you can't place on geocaching.com anymore, those you can still place those on Open Caching North America. So, if you want to try and grab one of those, sign up to the site and go check it out.
Yes, it's very good. They also have challenge caches. There's no moratorium on Open Caching North America. So they have, in fact, issued a good pile of challenge caches, and you can log them virtually. So if you qualify, you go ahead and log them. They spell out OCNA in the Gulf of Mexico. So you got a little geo art involved, and the caching challenges.
There you go. I was going to say, Wet Coasters said in the Q&A that those listings are not so secret. Well, they're not if you're a member of Open Caching North America, but I don't know that a lot of people are. So if you're not, check it out. It's another place. It's an alternate listing site, another place to find some more geocaches if you're kind of using up all the ones in your area.
And Three Hams in a Row wants to know, how many Open Caching caches have you placed?
As of this evening, I'm going to double check the numbers. I believe it's 5. Yeah, it's not a big number. I should be able to remember it, but I'm special. Yep, it's 5. So 2 webcams, a virtual, an MP3 cache, and a traditional.
So if you happen to go to Open Caching US right now, you will see the new caches, and they list, I think, 10 of them there. 3 of them are land monkeys. So that's well done there. And I happened to go to the caching page, or to Open Caching US, to the home page, and was like, wait, that's a land monkey. He placed an Open Caching.
Very cool.
Wet Coaster adds, there's one in Washington State, so those who can't travel across the border into Canada can get a virtual as well.
That's right. My one that's called A Minor Distraction is technically just across the border in the U.S.
Will we be, let's see, A Minor Distraction. Why, that's number 2.
Yep.
When we go up for the GeoCoin Fest, we won't be that far away.
It'd be about an hour away from that one.
But it's, not the 6 hours we are now.
No, that's true.
You're never really that far from a geocache, are you?
That's right. The type is virtual. There's no container. The status is ready to search.
There you go.
I'm rather fond of webcam caches. I'm going to have to look for those.
And those are
that's one of the things I love about. Exactly. That's one of the things I absolutely love about OCNA, is that you can hide webcam caches and virtuals, and the fact that they're the quality control is really done by the community voting on the quality of your caches as they go out and find them, I think is also awesome. So that there is the concept of the favorites as well there, but if it's just really not a terribly interesting cache, then it's not, it's going to reflect that after it's been found a few times, and you can decide to just ignore it.
Cool.
Are you ready for this, Land Monkey? Steel yourself. Brylang says, I love the tagline on the minor cache. There's a minor interest in your package.
That's what I wrote.
Wow.
If you go and find that virtual, you'll get the joke.
Sure. And your webcam cache is the busiest intersection in Langley.
It is, because I thought, if I'm going to send people out to find a geocache or a webcam cache, I want them to take their lives in their hands.
Absolutely, yes.
I was wrong. You have
traffic.
You have 4 of the top 10. Or the newest caches.
Newest, yeah. I mean, not top 10. Top 10 in the sense of the date of placement, yes.
Well, you're number 1 in my book.
Aw, thanks, Witsand.
Well, guys, I don't want to be rude and barge out unexpectedly, but as I mentioned, I do have family in town and a ton of things to do, so I'm going to bow out this evening and wish you all adieu. And as always, it's been a wonderful evening, and I will see you all again in a week.
Absolutely, sir. You take care and say hi to your family for us.
And we'll stop the broadcast.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.